Hello again, welcome to Chris the Car Builder. I'm Chris, I build cars. This is what I do. Today we're going to have a go at putting the F4R from the Clio 172 into the Laguna. So the first thing we need to do, at first I was going to try and do a gearbox change and whatever. I've got to put the gearbox from the Clio back on the Clio engine. It's going to be stronger, however, for that I'm going to be using different hubs because the drive shaft splines on the outside to go into the hub are fatter on the Clio 172. So I need to go to the Clio, see if I can pull the hubs off, and then when I pull them off, see if they fit on this, because if they fit on this, great. If not, then I'm going to have to run a Laguna gearbox and Laguna drive shaft and Laguna hubs and hope that the brakes from the Clio fit onto those hubs. Ideally, I want to run as much from the Clio as I possibly can. So let's go over to the Clio, pull the hubs off, and then we can see about swapping them out of this and see if they fit, and if not, can they be adapted. Hello all, so I'm going to post this video even though it's pretty much a load of rubbish, just because you guys haven't seen anything in a while. I just need to do a little bit of an update rather than try and make something of what's happened with this video without it. The hub doesn't fit directly, the spindle is different, so I'm going to have new bearings pressed and use the hub with the spline into the original spindle. So that's why I just cut the footage there. I also completely lost motivation with fitting the engine itself. Currently the engine is bolted to the gearbox literally just by 2 bolts to get them sat together. And the exhaust manifold has been taken off. The engine is sat in using the original Laguna gearbox mount onto the Clio gearbox because the housing is the same with the Clio engine. I bought from Poland a Laguna 1.82 litre engine support to go onto the F4R, but it's slightly different. And where the Laguna 2 litre with an F4R, the inlet manifold is plastic and is really slim, hence why it's got considerably less power than the Clio one. The cast inlet manifold is far too tall, so now the bonnet won't close. So I've got a few options really. First of all, there is a different engine support that I can get that supposedly sits it lower. I could also make an engine support that will sit it lower. And then the considerably more expensive option is to go with throttle bodies. If the engine's facing this way, it sort of sits round like that. The inlet manifold cokes out the front, goes up and sits over the top. So that's why if you put throttle bodies that just poke out the front, you'll lose about that much height maybe. I'll relocate the coil and then that'll be that. I think initially I'm going to just go with seeing if I can get another engine mount. It would be nice to eventually go with throttle bodies, but JMS carbon surrounded throttle bodies, for example, or Gen V ones, they're over £1,000, and then you need to get it sort of all tuned in. Initially, I just want to get it running. So, that said, I'm probably going to get a new engine mount or have one made, and we'll go from there. But I can add some photos afterwards, after this, just to show you what it looks like. I'm also in the process of making an episode for plastic polycarbonate windows. I've just earlier on yesterday dropped them up to ACW Motorsport Plastics, and they have a 3.5 week sort of turnaround time. So obviously regarding that, there's no point in me putting up an episode saying I've sent them off, because you won't see another one for 3.5 weeks. So in about 3.5 weeks time, when I fit them, maybe 4 weeks time, expect another video regarding polycarbonate windows, which will all be very exciting because I've done some nice options with sliders and pop out window bits and whatever, or pop out vents. But yes, apologies for not doing an upload in a very long time. Everything's getting very expensive in general, and on the interest of trying to keep a low budget, I've had to sort of slow down with things, hence why not much has happened. But here it is. This is what happens with projects sometimes, and in the meantime, I just thought I'd upload this just to give you a rough idea of just what's going on and where I'm at. The engine is currently sat in, but the bonnet won't close. Is what it is. We'll work on it. And we'll go from there. But until then, thanks for watching. Apologies for what is not a particularly brilliant video, but I kind of got the impression that you guys might want some kind of update. I've had a few messages and whatever, so some content is better than none at all when it takes as long as it does to get bits done. So yeah, in the meantime, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.